I call Reno to the curtain.
Kia ora, Mr Chair. Thank you. I'm very pleased to make a contribution at the committee stage of this bill, the New Zealand Public Health and Disability Southern DHB Elections Bill. And the Southern DHB is one of 7 DHBs that I have in my electorate, sir. And but the Southern DHB is a favourite of mine because it actually does do a very good job despite the troubles that are besetted at the moment through the appointment of the commissioners. And I'd just like to pick up on my colleague Poto Williams' comments. Yes, there are concerns from Te Runanga o Ngaitahu at the being denied the ministers' appointments to have Māori representation on a normally constituted board. And those concerns are very valid, sir. And but in the face of all of the change which has engulfed the Southern DHB, sir, I'm very pleased, and I've met with the individuals concerned, that there is a very strong Māori Health Directorate in the Southern DHB. It is well led by Pānia Coot, a local from down there in Bluff. And they do a very good job, sir, because in spite of all the difficulties, they have still managed to have their iwi governance, the management advisory groups, and to be able to put comprehensive Māori health plans together for the southern region. And so I do commend the Māori Health Directorate for the work that they're doing in such challenging and difficult times within the Southern DHB, sir, because we are talking about a massive geographical DHB district. It is a very large size. People have said the size of Belgium, so that's a reasonable sized European country. You could throw in a few more for the South Island, but so it is a very large, diverse area, and it's very. I guess those are the issues, I believe, in terms of the funding model. I guess what we're doing with this legislation is 7 elected and 4 appointed board members have been replaced by 3. Hopefully the financial expertise that they will bring to bear will surpass, I guess, the collective normally constituted board that was governing the Southern DHB, sir. So we have these three commissioners, and so they have to try and rectify and steady the ship. They have to try and close the gap on the shortfalls of funding. But sir, again, we are dealing with a very diverse area. It's very hard to get senior doctors all the way down in Invercargill and in Southland. Trying to attract senior doctors is hard, and it costs money. And so those are the challenges, I guess, that the Southern DHB faces. I mean, just yesterday I learnt, sir, that if you required a physio from Invercargill Hospital, there's no physiotherapist down there. You'd have to wait a year for some physiotherapy attention down in Invercargill. Maybe not that long, but it's certainly long because there is no physiotherapist actually employed down in the Invercargill Hospital. So, sir, now this was at the Health Summit convened by the Honourable Annette King, and it was actually a very enlightening and a very wise group of health sector heads there, and yes, they were very concerned, sir. But returning to the bill, sir, it is very important that we get. We want to get the fully elected DHB back in place. This bill sets 2019 as the automatic transition back to the elected DHB, and so let's hope that happens, because as we've seen with the ECAN appointment of commissioners examples, sir, these timeframes aren't fixed. And who knows, we may be back in this House in a few years' time, extending this time out further if the job isn't done. And I just certainly hope that the commissioners that are appointed, sir, are getting on with their job. They will be able to. Mr. Bridges mentioned this is an exercise in recalibration. for the DHB. I would venture to say, so we need more than recalibration. We just need a resurgence of funding to go into the Southern DHB and making sure that they're actually able to do their job more effectively so we can... Mr Chair.
Reno Tirakatini.
Thank you, Mr Chair. I just want to carry on just a little bit further. But I do want to make sure that, that resurgence of some fair funding, taking into account the geographic size, the large population of the 300,000+ Kiwis in that southern district, all of those factors are taken into account to make sure that we do get back to a top-performing southern DHB. So, those are just the main remarks I wanted to make, sir. And but I just did want to give another shout-out to the Māori Directorate within the Southern DHB who are doing an excellent job in improving the health outcomes for Māori across that district. Kia ora tātou.
Simon O'Connor.